Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Thursday, the 18th of September 2025. So, no inflation figures announced. Here's what it means for you and which prices are rising. Well, mainly food for yesterday. So, the release of yesterday's numbers, so if we just go back and have a quick look, they came out as forecast. You'll see there they've got the 3.8 across the board. In fact, what we also need to do here is to throw in the RPI, and that's actually classed as a low impact news item. So if we go and have a look at that, it actually dropped. So they don't mention this on the TV or in any commentary anymore, but it used to be the main one until we had the CPI supersede it. So anyway, the prices remain the same, but food prices continue to move higher. So a bit of a drop there, so a bit of a reprieve there for Rachel from accounts. So new inflation figures announced, they are the same. So hardly new, but there you go. Right, over to the US, Fed cuts rates by 25 basis points. Powell bends the knee, signals dovish path ahead. 9 months after its last action, the Fed cuts with one dovish dissenter. So that's interesting, and that's probably going to be Powell. Jerome Powell's Fed enters nightmare territory there, which it is. 25 basis cut. Now what is next, which is what I said in the alert yesterday, 25 basis points, but when are we going to see the next one? US stocks mixed in post-FOMC after Fed cuts rates by 25 basis points, and there's two more cuts projected for this year. So that takes us to October and possibly November or December. It's one or the other. It depends whether they go with October, November, or October, or just November, December. There's obviously a few variables there. Powell doesn't feel the need to move quickly on rates, and that you could think of today's cut as a risk management cut, and that decisions will be taken on a meeting by meeting approach. So again, doesn't guarantee it. So he's gone from dovish to hawkish. Markets chop to dovish Fed SCP, but hawkish Powell. So like I say, that's a dovish cut, but a hawkish rhetoric that followed in the press conference after. Economic news for today. Let's just have a quick look. We've got quite a bit there today. Let's just get rid of the low impact news items there. And we've got monetary policy for the UK. So we're up to rate cuts for the UK today. Well, looks like no rate cuts for today. Then we've got the jobless claims. This is a weekly number of people claiming for being out of work, and then we've got the fully fed manufacturing numbers there as well. Right, let's have a look at the market's reaction to all of this yesterday, and surprise, surprise, there are a few all-time highs, so let's kick off and have a look at the Dow. And just as it happens, the Dow is the one who made the new all-time high yesterday, 46,271, and overnight prices not seem to, at this point, be following through. But who knows what the rest of the day will bring. The only thing I can say, the fact that we've got another potential 2 cuts in rates coming before the end of the year is what Powell has mentioned. That's enough ammunition there for Santa to be happy about a rally. So we can see yesterday the market was very volatile when this was actually released. We go from the high down to the low yesterday. We saw 591 point, nearly 600 point swing there in prices during the 1 hour of the release of the numbers, and then Powell's press conference there, you can see. So coming back to the 200 MA and then moving higher above the DP at the moment. We're not too far off making a new all-time high, which is very plausible during today's trading session there for the Dow. Meanwhile, the DAX happy that it's all over, and having traded down to the support to the left at 23,377, the market put in some demand for yesterday and is moving higher there as well. So now this is out of the way, speculation is going to turn to the next 2 rate cuts. And in the DAX, you can see there yesterday trading up to the 50 EMA, down to a bit of buying coming in there at the low. The low is retested twice following the remainder of the session. and then prices up on the overnight as well and through yesterday's high, which is a positive. Market sideways to lower there at the moment. And in the S&P 500, looks like we're set for a new all-time high during today. Yesterday, just like the Dow, the S&P was very, very volatile. There's the all-time high for this market. And despite being seriously overvalued, like I say, there's enough ammunition given by Powell now to keep the markets pumped to the upside, and also, like I say, invite a Santa rally from next month. So yesterday we moved lower, and then we came all the way back on this massive volume. So again, a positive for the S&P, which you can see there, the volatile reaction, but nonetheless already back at yesterday's high for this market. Meanwhile, in the UK, and the CPI numbers coming out as forecast, bit of buying demand yesterday there for the FT100 as well. And 30-minute chart, we just moved up and then we moved down, and then obviously a bit of volatility during the release of the FOMC meeting minutes and Powell's press conference. Market back to the DP and the close at the moment, finding a bit of support there. But if we go back to the daily chart, we can see that we're trying to get this market to start moving back to the upside there as well. So you can see some target prices areas there if you wish to make a note of them. Let's have a look at the US dollar. Now this is madness. Absolute madness, and as I said yesterday in the alert, if we had 25 basis point cut, the dollar would be relieved and prices likely to move higher, and that's exactly what we're seeing here now. Got a bit of a dead cat bounce going on, and also notice the support to the left there as well, so you can see why the dollar is coming off those lows. It's probably a temporary move, but I should imagine it's going to be sustained for a few days, putting pressure on the metals, which I also spoke about yesterday. So let's have a look at those. So silver coming under a monkey hammering yesterday. No surprise, I did mention it yesterday. I would expect this to be sideways to lower for the next few days until prices have settled, and then a resumption back to the upside. But whilst the dollar is moving higher, it gives the excuse to actually move this market lower. And lower it went yesterday morning. It rallied back in the sort of lunchtime, mid-afternoon, and then when the announcement came, the market was hammered, and in Asia overnight prices are sideways to lower there as well. They've just pulled back around about 62%, I think. Let's just have a look there. 78% is where they're sitting at the moment. So it's important that the market holds at this level, and if not, then we are going to see lower prices in this daily chart. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a retest of yesterday's low. Same for gold, as the dollar is strengthened a bit of a pullback going on here as well. I expect the market to come back and look at this sort of level here for the gold market. They need to breathe a bit, they need to consolidate, ready for the next move up, so not a problem. And again, you can see gold down in the first half of the session, back up midday, and then you've got the Powell statement and news conference in the market there sideways to lower overnight as well. Just wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a retest of the low, particularly when the LBMA price fixed gold and silver at lunchtime. Right, let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio. And no surprise here that the market is moving back to the upside there once more. Watch the 89 level. That's going to be very important for this market. This is still seriously overvalued in the sense that the average is anywhere between 15 and 20 to the gold-silver ratio, and we're sitting at 88. So there's a long way to come down on this, but it's not going to do it all in one go there. Right, let's have a quick look at yesterday's market action pre and post the Powell statement. So yesterday's trading session pre-market, we see prices sideways and then starting to move to the upside given the fact that rates were likely to be cut. We start off with prices a bit of a choppy opening salvo there, but then the market finds a bit of calmness and support and moves to the upside there, which you can see up to the news. and then the market sideways to lower. We get a potential sell signal which is cancelled, and then we get a second buy signal which is filled, and we manage to just get back to the high to the left, and then we see the selling coming into this market. Prices then move down, and then we can see that we're heading towards the close, but the buying coming into the market there stops the prices temporarily, and then we get a sell signal which is filled, and then down to the close and the 200 MA. And just notice how the volume spikes as we hit that 200 MA and close there. So price is bouncing off that as profit taking comes in, and then once we get to the 50 and 20 averages there, you'll see the market then go back down and retest it. Volume not as good this time as the market move lower to the same support area, and then the market then breaks to the downside and continues all the way down to the low. So no surprise there, and again you can see the volume coming in as prices make their way down towards the low, and then we get to the market making its way back as the Dow futures open ahead of the FOMC meeting minutes, and then into the afternoon session the volume picks up once more as prices then get back into a sideways to lower move, and then followed by another sell signal there, which you'll see prices in a moment starting to break the close, the 50 EMA down to the 200 MA, and despite getting to the 200 the 200 MAs, it's a simple average, the market puts in some volume but doesn't hold initially, and they try again, which you can see there with that increase in volume and buying, but the market is having none of it. And then we trade to the sideways to lower once again, and then hit the low. So we managed to come all the way back down to the low during yesterday's session, and then we get into the market moving off that low. I'll just rewind that, so you can see them buying off the low, and then with the market moving back to the upside, we head into the announcement, 25 basis cut, and then into Powell's press conference there, with the DAX moving back down to the low, and again coming off the low during the trading session yesterday. So price is moving back and attempting to get back towards the close, but failing there. But let's have a look, see where we are now as that's into the close of the Dow, and we're just seeing the market spike down there, a bit of volume kicking in. It's 20 minutes to 7, so not the futures market yet, as in the official opening at 7 a.m. So the market just springing to the downside there at the moment, but a lot of volume coming in. Let's just have a look, see where we are. We're not far off the high for yesterday. However, we do have some weakness there with these averages. The market's below the 200 MA, the 50 and the 20, and also below the high, but above the DP at the moment, which is just tucked away off the screen there. Right, so let's see what happens during today's trading session, whether this is going to be a positive for the markets having this 25 basis point cut, or it's going to say, well, it wasn't enough. We'll just have to wait and see. But like I say, he's left something on the table, hasn't he? The 25 basis point cuts for possibly October, November, or again, choose your variable there on what it could be. So 2 more cuts potentially between now and the end of the year. Right, that's it for this one. As ever, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and see you in the next one.